Wow, we got an awesome show from. I'm going to react to Sean Hannity. He's going to talk to Elon Musk. Man, the left is unhinged. I can't believe Sean Hannity is basically going to go over the stuff that Elon Musk has been done or doing for the American people, from North Carolina to California to space, everything. So, man, this is totally disgusting, you guys. And also, I got about the 10-minute mark. You know, it's about a 20-minute video. I got two different things that President Trump said today in his remarks you might have missed. It came out not too long ago, so I'll give you those two things midway.
As I said in my opening monologue earlier today, SpaceX successfully completed its rescue of two astronauts who spent 9 months stranded in space. They were only supposed to be there 8 days. SpaceX founder, chief engineer, CEO Elon Musk, he now joins us for an exclusive interview. Elon, first of all, what a triumph to the human spirit, human ingenuity, engineering. First of all, on behalf of, I know, many people in this audience, thank you for what you did for those astronauts today. How were you feeling, throughout the day? I mean, I know I felt butterflies in my stomach, and I rarely feel them.
Well, I'm actually usually a little nervous about these returns because there's always some risk that something could go wrong. But thanks to the excellent work of the SpaceX team working with NASA, the astronauts are now safely home. And so congratulations to the SpaceX NASA teams on excellent work, and a huge note of appreciation to President Trump for prioritizing and expediting their return.
You have been the chief engineer of SpaceX and remain the chief engineer of SpaceX. It is the first private company to ever make it to orbit. Walk us through the beginnings of that. It is not, it's something that nobody else has been able to accomplish.
Well, it's quite a long story, and there are some books that have been written about it. But in the beginning, we didn't actually know anything about rockets. So our first 3 missions failed, actually, of our Falcon 1 rocket. And we almost ran out of money and just barely made it with the 4th launch. If the 4th launch of Falcon 1 had not succeeded, we would have failed as a company. So we just barely made it. So I have to say that I was not a very good chief engineer.
Did anybody watch this? Yeah, once they touched down, it wasn't too long. There was actually dolphins. There was like 11. I think I counted 11 of them just swimming around. I don't know if anybody's seen that. Comment down below if you've seen those.
Engineer in the beginning, but I did learn over time. And I think we've gotten, at this point, to where the vehicle is very reliable. And we are going to be able to take astronauts to Mars. In fact, we want to take anyone who goes to Mars and ultimately build a self-sustaining civilization on Mars. That is the long-term goal of the company. Make life healthy.
Who's going to volunteer?
I mean, that is a very bold vision. How long do you think that might take SpaceX to be able to accomplish?
I think we could do it in 20 to 30 years.
Mm-hmm. So but really, in our lifetime, I should say, if God blesses me with a longer life than I deserve, right? I could always hope. I would love to be able to see that. That would be amazing. I happen to have a telescope, and I love to look at the stars in the sky and the planets, and I am amazed at the majesty of all of creation and the idea that we even look at the moon and we can go there and come back, or a space station, or you launching the hundreds of satellites you have. I want to ask you this question, if I may, and it's, every aspect of this rescue had challenges and danger. The launch, we start there. Then the rocket landing. I mean, we showed. I couldn't believe you were able to land the rocket that fell off perfectly where you wanted it to land. The docking video when they actually connected and got onto the space station. Then the taking off earlier today was a 17-hour trip, leading to the splashdown that all of America watched today. Every single aspect of that has danger and complications. Walk us through the dangers of each phase.
Well, on the ascent phase, there's always some chance that either the first or second stage will blow up. In fact, it's
curious because I have a problem with the whole space thing, and some stuff just looks fake. I don't know what your guys' your take is on space and going through the Van Allen belt and yeah. What's your guys' take? What do you guys think about space down below? What do you guys think? Just put in there. It just seems like we should have been there by now, more and more. But my opinion.
I find it actually remarkable when you see a rocket. I mean, when I see the rocket, I see a list of all the things that are wrong, all of the ways that it could go wrong and potentially fail. So you could have a first stage failure, a second stage failure, a stage separation failure. The Dragon could fail to separate from the rocket. The trunk could fail to separate from Dragon. There could be a sort of an engine failure on the spacecraft itself. When it's coming back, it's coming in so fast, it's a blazing meteor. And if anything happens to the heat shield, the whole craft is going to disintegrate. So it's remarkable that humans can actually go all the way to orbit and come back from orbit, given the immense amounts of energy that is required to get to orbit and the amount of energy that must be dissipated upon return.
Yeah.
And then the parachutes have to open. That all has to work. Now, long term, we are going to be doing, not long term, this year, in fact, we are launching the Starship rocket, which I recommend maybe doing a piece on, because that is truly a revolutionary rocket. Starship is the first rocket that has the potential to make life multiplanetary, to make us a multi-planet civilization for the first time in the history of Earth. And that's truly profound.
What was amazing, I studied a lot of this because of my need to cover it, at one point going 17,000 miles per hour, going through 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit. You have this thermal protection system. Now, we do know that the Boeing Starliner, we know that it had problems. So these problems that you talk about, we can't take them for granted or get complacent. Explain how you get up to 17,000 miles per hour. How do you withstand 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit and the thermal protection system that protects that capsule, and then the launch, obviously, of the parachutes, which were critical to slow it down for its splashdown?
Before he gets on to that, President Trump came out today. This was one of the two breaking news from Donald Trump's mouth was, he said, this has to do with the judge. If a president doesn't have the right to throw murderers and other criminals out of our country because a radical left lunatic judge wants to assume the role of president, then our country is in very, very deep trouble and destined to fail. I repeat, it's just that district judge has no authority to tell a president that he can or cannot do that. He just could not. So that's basically what he's saying. So if we let a district judge that is not elected do that, then what's the point of having a president? There's no point. So that's what he's saying there. And I got one more too here in a couple minutes.
We should do a longer segment because I'd be happy to explain it in detail. I'll do the 2-minute version here.
Yeah. Okay.
The Falcon 9 rocket takes off with 1.7 million pounds of thrust. So you can imagine something that has enough thrust to lift an office building off its foundations. And it gets to orbit. It gets to roughly 17,000 miles an hour in 9 minutes. So from 0 to 17,000 miles an hour in 9 minutes. And then it's just when it comes back, you've got that heat shield that's got to dissipate that energy. Like I said, you're coming in like a blazing meteor, and hardly anything can survive that heat. And if the heat shield fails, you just get vaporized immediately.
Yeah.
So it's we're really testing the very edge of human ability here, the very edge of material science, and it's kind of amazing that humans can do this at all. Hopefully this gives, hopefully for people out there, this is a moment of optimism about the future, a moment of excitement about the future, and it portends great things for America and humanity in space.
I'm only going to ask you one political question, just for clarification purposes only. I don't think this should really be a political night. I think this is, you know, a moment where the country should celebrate the fact that you were able to rescue them, that it happened successfely in spite of the difficulty, the challenges, and the danger. But I just want to clarify on the issue of whether or not you had offered to send this rocket to space to rescue these astronauts sooner to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I heard somebody earlier today say, in fact, that didn't happen, when I believe it did.
No, we definitely offered to return the astronauts earlier. There's no question about that. The astronauts were only supposed to be there for 8 days, and they've been there for almost 10 months.
That's
so
crazy.
Obviously that
Joe
doesn't
Biden
make any
just
sense.
left them up there.
SpaceX could have brought the astronauts back after a few months at most.
Long time.
And we made that offer to the Biden administration. It was rejected for political reasons, and that's just a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just bring it forward a little bit, get past the space, because they do a lot of rambling about that. But then it goes right into the cars and stuff like that. But before that, I want to go one more thing that Donald Trump had said. That way you guys, all right, just completed a very good telephone call with President Zelensky of Ukraine. It lasted approximately 1 hour. Much of the discussion was based on the call made yesterday with Putin, President Putin, in order to align both Russia and Ukraine in terms of their requests and needs. We are very much on track, and I will ask Secretary of State Marco Rubio and National Secretary Advisor Michael Waltz to give an accurate description of the point discussed. That statement will be put out shortly, so we should be getting that shortly. Maybe we will during this video or not, but here we go.
Yeah. You know, I followed this from the very beginning. Did America and the world make a mistake by slowing down, going to the moon and to other planets? Was that a mistake on our part? I mean, don't we have so many signs?
Go ahead.
I have to ask, why? Why do I see people like I woke up this morning and saw that Teslas were put ablaze in one of your dealerships in Vegas? I've seen this happen all over the country. Bullets are being fired. Charging stations are put ablaze. Teslas are being put ablaze. You have experienced assassination, threats of assassination for you and your family. What have you done that warrants this?
Shut this
because
right off. It's bugging me.
I see nothing that you have done except help our country.
Yeah, I mean, it's really come as quite a shock to me that there's this level of really hatred and violence from the left. I always thought the left, or the Democrats, were supposed to be the party of empathy, the party of caring.
What happened to the party of caring and empathy? They're so far left, man.
And yet they're burning down cars, they're firebombing dealerships, they're firing bullets into dealerships, they're just, smashing up Teslas. Tesla is a peaceful company. We've never done anything harmful. I've never done anything harmful. I've only done productive things. So I think we just have...
See, that's the thing about Democrats. They don't want anybody to succeed. See, it's their way or no way. And it's disgusting. It's very disgusting. So, yeah.
A deranged... there's some kind of mental illness thing going on here, because this doesn't make any sense.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's right. That's exactly what it is. Well. It's fucking mental disorder.
Who's funding it and who's coordinating it? Because this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this.
Line them up, because
you may think that an adult that can't stop watching the P Word looks something like this, but
it's getting crazy.
This is what they really.
You actually tweeted out, and I'll put it on the screen, the level of violence is insane. It is deeply wrong. Tesla just makes electric cars and has done nothing to deserve these evil attacks. You just rescued 2 astronauts that have been in space for 286 days. They were only supposed to be there 8. You helped the people in North Carolina, Tennessee, California.
Thank you.
You have, I think, the most creative and innovative car on the market. You created Starlink for communications that's used by hundreds of countries.
Saved a lot of lives.
You're working on helping the blind see and all of these other things. Is it really come down to the basic, you're aligned with President Donald Trump, who also is a friend of mine, and that you have identified well over $100 billion in waste, fraud, abuse that our federal government never should have been spending? Is that what it comes down to?
That is what it comes down to. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it turns out when you take away people's, what the money they're receiving fraudulently, they get very upset, and they basically want to kill me because I'm stopping their fraud. And
they're attacking his little kid. The little kid. Do you guys support that? You damn Democrats that are not as crazy as the far left, but do you guys support that? That's your party. If you're a Democrat in here, do you guys support that? Just put a yes or no in the comments. I'm just curious. Who's a smart Democrat and who's not?
And they want to hurt Tesla because we're stopping this terrible waste and corruption in the government. And, well, I guess they're bad people. Bad people will do bad things.
That's right.
I know that overall, financially, in the end, yes, they can hurt you, but the people that they'll end up hurting are the people that work in your dealerships that may risk losing their job. The people that they may end up hurting are the people that work on the line and build the Teslas. They're going to be the ones hurt. And that to me is despicable on their part, just because they might have a political difference or perceived political difference.
You think you're hurting Elon, but you're not.
Let me ask you this, because I think this is pretty important.
Pathetic.
The average American makes $66,000 a year. We're close to $40,000 in debt. You said to me in our last interview, we won't have a country unless we fix it now. Can you explain why this is so important that we identify all this waste?
I agree.
Yes, the government the government waste and fraud is so high that it's causing a $2 trillion annual deficit. So that's $2,000 billion of waste and fraud that's happening. And the cost of our debt has gotten so high that just the interest payments on the debt exceed the entire military budget. And it was just growing out of control. So the country was going bankrupt. It's just, country is no different from a person. If a country...
Do you see why we got to do this now? I mean, I can't believe you can't see it. We have to cut all the corruption.
Overspends and doesn't spend wisely, just like a person, a country will go bankrupt. So the reason I'm here is because I'm very worried about America going bankrupt due to the corruption and waste. And if we don't do something about it, the ship of America is going to sink. And we're all on that ship. And this may be a message to, people out there who have, are wealthy, have a lot of means, or control companies. It's like, just remember, we're all in ship America here. Your company is not going to exist if the ship of America sinks.
That's right, man.
And we should do everything we possibly can to ensure that America is strong for far into the future.
Unbelievable.
And for doing that, we're all sunk. And doing that, you should not have your company be a victim of domestic terrorism.
That's right.
If I may, one last question.
One last question.
When I interviewed you and President Trump together, one of the questions I asked both of you was, are you aware that there are groups that want to separate you, groups that would like to divide you, groups that would like to see you not work together? I feel it's stronger than it's ever been. Do you get the same sense?
I think they're getting desperate because, I mean, the reason we're seeing this this extreme amount of hatred and violence is because we're actually succeeding in getting rid of corruption and waste. If we weren't succeeding in getting rid of corruption and waste, they wouldn't care.
No, they wouldn't.
But we are succeeding. Thanks. Without President Trump, this would be impossible. So I'd just like to say, you know, it's only possible with this president. And we've got this narrow window of opportunity with a House, Senate, and you know, a popular vote, and really we're just implementing the will of the people. And we've got this window where we can finally take corrective action. We can fix the government, fix the country, and create a great future. And again, that's only possible because of President Trump.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's exactly right. It's only possible because of Donald J. Trump, our president. And I hope you guys can start to see that. It's a great awakening. It's exactly what it is, guys. Hey, man, if you're part of that, stop leave the guy alone. The guy's trying to help America. You're just hurting Americans. That's all you're doing. You're hurting Americans. You're hurting other countries. You're hurting the workers. You're not hurting this gentleman. He's rich. So I'm just saying. All right, guys, if you guys made it this long, please like and subscribe, share, whatever, do all you kinds of goodies. We're at 20 minutes in, but I appreciate it. I'm going to bring you some awesome new materials, some more breaking news. Each video I'll have more breaking news, but I appreciate it. And you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.